The Novgorod Archbishop Gennady uncovered the heresy in 1487, sent irrefutable proofs of it to Moscow, hunted the heresy out, and unmasked it until in 1490 a church council assembled to discuss the matter under the leadership of the just promoted Metropolitan Sosima. With horror, they heard the complaint of Gennady that these apostates insult Christ and the Mother of God, spit on the cross, call the icons idolatrous images, bite on them with their teeth, and throw them into impure places, believe in neither the kingdom of heaven nor the resurrection of the dead, and entice the weak while remaining quiet in the presence of zealous Christians. From the judgment of the council, it is apparent that the Judaizers did not recognize Jesus Christ as the Son of God, that they taught the Messiah has not yet appeared, that they observed the Old Testament Sabbath day rather than the Christian Sunday. It was suggested to the council to execute the heretics, but in accordance with the will of Ivan III, they were sentenced instead to imprisonment, and the heresy was anathematized. In view of the coarseness of the century and the seriousness of the moral corruption, such a punishment was extraordinarily mild. The historians unanimously explain this hesitation of Ivan in that the heresy had already spread widely under his own roof and was practiced by well-known influential people. Among them was Fyodor Kurizin, even Ivan's plenipotentiary secretary, so to speak, foreign minister, famous on account of his education and his capabilities. The noteworthy liberalism of Moscow flowed from the temporary dictator of the heart, F. Kurizin. The magic of his secret salon was enjoyed even by the Grand Prince and his daughter-in-law. The heresy was by no means in abatement, but rather prospered magnificently and spread itself out. At the Moscow court, astrology and magic, along with the attractions of the pseudoscientific revision of the entire medieval worldview, was solidly propagated, which was free thinking, the appeal of enlightenment, and the power of fashion.
And this is one of the few places where you're going to get this laid out. I've read pretty much everything in at least in English on the Judaizing heresy, and they really don't say anything. They're not familiar enough with how the Gnostic arcana goes, what the Kabbalah really is, even in rudimentary forms. People like Theodore Kurizin, who, he's right. He's foreign minister. He spoke many languages. To go to someone like that and to say, "Oh no, this is what the New Testament really says." The church, that's just for the ignoramuses. We'll entertain them with pictures and everything else, but the elite, the intellectuals like you, we'll tell you what the truth really is, and we've come from afar in some exotic place with this secret knowledge, and it's embarrassing today, but that's the approach with some of the in his case very educated people, and plus the fact that it justified bad habits, it justified any kind of sexual deviance. You don't have to fast anymore. How great is that? And plus, you get to keep more of your money, and Novgorod has an excuse to not listen to Moscow anymore. It's not a huge mystery as to why it was so successful. But we have to remember, this is how Jewish revolutionaries have functioned every time. It goes back this far and even further than this. It's always the same cellular, esoteric, exoteric distinction. This, flattery, whatever method they needed to use at the time to destabilize, a system and a mentality based on logos, and also taking advantage of the naivete of people who don't really know about this and aren't used to this kind of propaganda. The concept of propaganda existed, but it wasn't a systematic thing. People at the time had no idea what that would even mean. So this was how this was spread, and it was a materialist doctrine. But the very simplistic 1 and 2 syllable ways that this is described, even amongst academics in English, there's obviously no excuse for it, And of course, beyond ignorance, they're terrified of being called anti-Semitic.